Well, we've got the fair coming up this week. I thought that we would use Excel to do a little bit of analysis on some of the animals that sell over at the auction. And what we can do is take a look at the sheep and the hogs. Look at those prices and do a little bit of statistical analysis using some of the features of Excel so that we can analyze those animal sales for the years 2015, and hopefully we'll have some numbers coming in for last year that we can also add to it this week. So here's how we will get started. Get your name, and then we'll start with the lamb prices. And of course, if at any time you need to, you go ahead and press pause and get that completed. So we'll start with the 2015 lambs. And so what we will need to do is put in a sequence of numbers here, and I believe in 2015 we had 21 lambs. Yes, 21. So what we can do, we can either type 1 through 21, or we can use our fill command. Type the 1, type the 2, and then grab the little fill handle there. And then you can see just right off to the right side there, it's telling me which numbers I am currently at and which rows, and we'll get down to 21. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and put those in the center. And so those numbers will just represent each lamb that was sold. We won't bother to put the name of the person who actually owned that particular animal. And then in column B here, I'm at B4. In fact, let's do this. Let's insert a row so I have a blank row above here. And here's how you insert a row. A couple ways you can do it, but we'll do it this way for now. Right click, select insert, then you have 4 choices here, and we want to insert an entire row, so we'll activate that button. There we go. And so now we'll be in B5, and what we can put here is, get my hands on the right keys, total 2015, and these would be the total sales price. Now notice that starts to bleed over into column C, so what we can do is come right up here between the border of B and C, double click, and it'll automatically fill that to the right size. And we'll go ahead and put a bottom border underneath it. So now we look like that. And then we can use our 10 key skills and go ahead and start keying in the values for 2015. Here on a Monday, bell schedules don't take a holiday. Labor Day holiday, they're still working. So we will use our 10 key skills to fill in the values. And here we go. First one up, $3,400. And I'll zoom those out just a little bit so you can see them. So I'll leave that on the screen. Pause for a minute. You can pause your video and get in at least 1 through 15, and then I'll change the screen a little bit there. And I'll scroll down, and here's the rest of those values for the sheep. And next up, let's go ahead and format these in as dollars. Select those values, and we can click our shortcut $sign there. Decrease our decimals. Clean that up a little bit. Well, let's next go in and put a border so that it looks like this. And you will recall the way to do that is click in that cell and come up to the borders selection window, and we'll go ahead and just click a bottom border to indicate that we want to add all of these values up, and then you can compare your values to mine to see if you keyed your numbers in the same way. So what we can do is go ahead and use the auto sum feature to add those up, and that's way over here, auto sum. And when we select that, it'll automatically put in the function for sum equals sum and the range of cells, selecting all of those values, and that tool allows us, then we can just simply press enter, and there's our sum, 47,793. Now do that and compare your answer to mine. If it's not the same, you will want to scroll back and see how your numbers look, if they're the same as mine. So I'll go ahead and start at the top here, and go ahead and pause the video and just check if they're different, all these values here. So there's 1 through 12, and there's the rest of them, 13 through 21. So pause, check and see, make sure you have those totals so that we get the same values when we start doing some calculations. Well, once you've got that, we can go ahead and type total here. And then we'll also want to calculate the mean, median value, the maximum value, and a minimum value. And once again, pause the video so you can get that taken care of. Next step, let's go ahead and name this sheet Lambs. So I'm going to click on the sheet, right click, rename, and we'll call this Lamb Prices. And then let's create another sheet and name this one Hog Prices. And so we'll do the hog prices similar to the lamb prices. Okay, in our Tule Lake Butte Valley Fair, your name. What else did we have over here? Hog prices. And then we will need to put in that column of numbers again. And this time, let's see, for 2015, we had quite a few more. We had 37 hogs. Grab that little handle, scroll down to 37. Place that in the center. And once again, widen that column a little bit. Put a border underneath it. And then here we go with our 10 key practice again. Okay, first one up, $3,668. And if you want to, pause the video and catch up there to row 14 or hog number 14. And starting with 15. And you can pause and pick those up. And the last one, $3,850. And I will leave those there for you. Go ahead and pause and fill in the rest of those values. Once we've done that, we can select those again. Put in our $sign. Reduce our decimal places. Put a border under the last entry. Total. Use our auto sum. A little bit more money for the hogs. $110,000. $110,303. If you don't have that, come back through. Check your numbers. Pause the video and check all these values. There's 1 through 18. And there is 19 through 36. And then our last one there, 37. Hog number 37. And then again, we're going to want to calculate the mean, median, maximum, and minimum value. Let's go back to the lambs. Let's do those calculations. So the mean is the average, the mean average, and that's, you would have learned that in your math class, where you add up, get a sum of all the values, and divide it by the total number of values. So if we were doing this with a calculator, the way you would have done it in your math class, you would have added all these numbers up and then divided by the total number of values. So you would have simply done something like this on a calculator. Equals 47,793 divided by 21, and you would have gotten an average of $2,275.86. With Excel, there is a function that'll do it for us, and so we always start with the equal sign and type the word average, parentheses, and then select the values that you want to calculate that mean average on. So I'm going to start there with 21, hog 21, all the way up to hog number 1. And then complete that with the right side parenthesis. See if we get the same answer. And we do. If we were to simply get rid of those decimal places, there we go. We got the same values. So we can get rid of that one. Now we can do the same thing for the median value, which is the middle value. Rather than taking this sum and dividing by the total number of values, median finds the middle value and then places that number in the middle, indicating that half of the values are above it and half are below it. So equals median. And once again, select all the values. Finish off the formula. And there's the median value. And then max and minimum are just a way to indicate the highest and lowest value in a series of numbers. And so if there's a lot of numbers, it's just a nice thing to find out, kind of a way to calculate the range of data. So equals max, parenthesis, select the range of values, and enter. And I'll repeat that. I feel like I'm going a little fast here. Start with equal sign, max, parenthesis, select the values you want to include. I'm using my wheel to scroll down, parenthesis, enter. So the maximum value or the maximum selling price for these sheep, $3,400, and the minimum value, done in similar fashion, min. And once again, check your values. If this total was off or something was different here, you would get different values than me, so you want to check those. And then we'll go and do the same thing for the hogs. And the last one, min. Now you could also do it this way. You could start at the top. Start there, and then we'll already be at the bottom when we want to go ahead and finish off that parenthesis. Just make sure you don't include any of these in that calculation. Stop with hog number 37. So there you go, and that concludes part 1 of the animal sale prices for lambs and hogs for 2015. And so hopefully we'll be getting some more numbers from the fair so that we can do some comparisons with the animal prices from last year for 2016.